here in Australia, we're at the end of Mother's Day. So, um, if you're elsewhere and you haven't had your Mother's Day yet, I hope it's a great day. For all my mothers here in New Zealand and Australia, I hope you had a wonderful day. And I hope you got just a little bit spoiled. Even if you had to be the one doing the spoiling, it's like the perfect excuse, right? So, I'm just going to get this camera turned around pretty quickly tonight because I'm actually going to get back to my family because, like we just said, it's Mother's Day and they've given me a special leave to come and do this video right now. So, wherever you might be, please pop on and say hello. All right, now I'm just going to refresh my page on my computer here because then I can see your comments. So let's go. I can see I am live. Need to turn that sound off so I don't have to compete with myself. Hi, Kay. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Wendy. Nice to see you, ladies. Very, very nice. Okay, I'm just getting myself set up here. All right, it's looking good. Looking like we're in the right place and it's all happening now. Let me unplug this phone because I have learned you don't have it plugged in when you're doing a live because that's when my phone overheats. So that's what the culprit was when we had that problem. Mind you, it seemed to happen more on Facebook. Didn't really happen here on YouTube. I don't know why. So for a few Friday nights on my Facebook lives, I was having issues with that, but not so much here. Hi there, Jenny. Nice to see you. Um, if you haven't chatted with me before, let me know where you are because I love finding out all the places all around the world that people are. Wendy, Cindy, and Kate, I think I know where all of you are, so that makes it easy. But Jenny, I don't think I know where you might be. So do pop on and let me know whereabouts you are. Did anyone have anything nice happen for Mother's Day? Anyone get spoiled? Love to hear how everyone's went. I have to say, I'm very relaxed now about Mother's Day compared to how it used to be because I was a single parent for 7 years. And during that time, my kids were really little when I first started with that. And I had a number of occasions, several times on Mother's Day, that I had to get up to turn off the smoke alarm because the kids were trying to cook me something breakfast in bed and had a little bit of a burn episode in the kitchen. So that was never a nice way to get up on Mother's Day. But the thought was there, right? They meant well. They just weren't particularly good at cooking whatever it was they were trying to cook. I did have a great day. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for asking. Oh, you're in Melbourne. Well, nice to see you down there. Hey, Helen. Hi. How are you? Nice to see you. Happy Mother's Day to you all too. Oh, you had a family day? That's lovely, Cindy. Yeah, my kids, I'm apparently expected back after this video. I'm expected back in the lounge room to watch something. I think we're going to watch a family movie or something like that. So that'll be nice. Yeah, bless them, indeed. Yes, there was a number of occasions. And the other thing I used to have to do when I was on my own was I remember giving a friend money a couple of times and telling the kids to go shopping with her. So she had the money and they went and picked what they wanted. So it was still a surprise, but I was paying for it. But it's life. You do what you have to do. Hi, Deb. Nice to see you. Okay, gonna get this phone turned around pretty quickly. Let's see how we go. You're a single mum family? Oh, that's really hard, isn't it? Yeah, my kids were 3 and 6 when their dad left, so that was really hard for a few years. That was when I really decided I was going to have to make Stampin' Up work for me because I was it's a bit scary when you're left without an income, and you've got to work out what you do next, and that's why I'm still here now. So I am kind of in a weird way grateful for that. But yeah, 3 and 6, and my daughter was daddy's girl, so she was devastated. Yeah, it's a hard time, but we got through it. And thank goodness for Stampin' Up because it gave me something to focus on and concentrate on. And I love it had the creative outlet. It was really good for me mentally. Also, I had a lot of my Stampin' Up friends, customers, and team members who stood by me and supported me right through that time. And I'm always be grateful for that. So that's a little bit of my story. So I don't tell it very often, but I was on my own for 7 years, and then 5 years ago, I got remarried to my now husband. who has, yeah, single parenting is hard. I know. And at first I was scared. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but it's amazing. You just put one foot in front of the other and take one day at a time, and you get there somehow. It was very unexpected, so it wasn't something I ever planned for. I don't think anyone ever does plan for it really, but yeah, anyway, those days are gone. Wow, Jenny, it's a long time ago, but you would remember it really well, right? Yeah. Hey, Vicky, how you going? Oh, hi, Judith. Well, that's a lovely thing to say. You know what? Replays are fine, they work just well, but isn't it nice to be on there live and then we actually get to chat to each other? So that's really nice. The other thing I've been really enjoying the last few weeks is watching all of you guys chat to each other. That's been really nice. It's happening on Facebook and a little bit here as well. And it's just really nice to see some nice connections being made. So it's lovely. Ah. Oh, Wendy, that's great that you're able to be supportive for your daughter. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah, it's yeah, really, really, really lovely. Yeah. No, not a champion, Deb. Gosh, what do they say? Sometimes being brave, is sometimes the only choice you have. You don't have another choice. You have to do what you have to do. So, uh, yeah, really hard times. Lots of people have been through them. I'm just reading some of your comments, and I can see that certainly, I'm not special. Everybody has their own stuff, right? Well, let's move on. This is not a therapy session, although it kind of is because we're going to get creative. So, yeah, I think stamping and crafting is better than therapy. What do you think? All right, let me get this phone in the holder and let's have a look and see what we're going to do. Here we go. All right, I don't know how you can hear me tonight. Oh, I should have showed you before I turn the phone around. I've got earpods or AirPods. See these guys? These were my Mother's Day gift from my husband. So I'm trying them out tonight and I'm hoping that the microphone in them is going to work really well. So if you can't hear me well, can you let me know? But I think the cat has broken into the dog food. Oh my goodness. That sounds like, is that something you have to go and deal with right now, Jenny? Oh gosh. My cats have been yeah, keeping us busy all day long. All right. So tonight's little creative session. I'm using, of course, new stuff from the brand new annual catalogue, which came out last Tuesday. So it's not even a week old yet, and I'm already having a ton of fun with it. Lots and lots of things. On Friday night on my Facebook Live, I used this suite, the one that's on the cover, which is called Expressions in Ink. And that's the one we played with on Friday night. If you haven't seen that video and you're on Facebook, get over there and have a little look because I made 3 cards, and everyone said they were pretty nice. I thought they were okay, so you can go along and have a little look. And it does show the paper, the DSP, which is a specialty DSP. It shows it off really, really well. Yes, crafting is always, always therapy, definitely. All right. So what I wanted to play with tonight is on page 60. This is a new suite I haven't shown you yet, and it's called You're a Peach, and you'll see it on 60 and 61. So I thought this would be a nice one to play with for Mother's Day because it's got a couple of things in it that I think remind me of my mum and her kitchen. I grew up actually on a peach orchard when I was a kid. We had peaches and plums and nectarines and all that sort of thing. But the biggest and most important part of our crop was the peaches. And so this little thing here, You're a Peach, kind of resonates with me, and it does remind me of my mum. And I used to give up my Christmas holidays because here in Australia, Christmas is summer. And I would give up my Christmas holidays, didn't know I was giving them up because I was helping. That's when the peaches were ripening and we were getting them ready for market. And Dad used to cut them down to Flemington markets in Sydney. We were living about an hour north of Sydney at that point. And he would drive them down there and we had to pick them and box them and, sort them and all that kind of stuff. And it was actually a lot of fun. I really, really loved being part of that whole process. So this You're a Peach, I think, is beautiful. Now, the suite consists of 4 products. So it's like I was talking about the other night. What they've done in this new catalogue is they've reduced the number of items in some of the suites, which makes the suites really, really reasonably priced. So we've got the Sweet as a Peach bundle, which consists of the stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set, which means that we've got the clear stamps, okay, the ones like acrylic stamps, they call them photopolymer. and they have matching peach dies. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad I can do something that you wanted to see, Cindy. That's awesome. Hey, Cherie, nice to see you. All right. So these are actually a smaller die set. So the ones I was using the other night were a larger die set. These are smaller. And one of the advantages of these small size dies, of course, is that they all go through the mini machine. So if we get to cut any tonight, then we're going to use the small machine for that. I prefer to use the small machine on my table here because it's a better fit. All right, so those are the dies, those are the stamps. And then the two other components in here, one is the paper. Here is the paper. And the other, bit exciting because it's something really different, also reminds me of my mum because she used to, as you might imagine, we used to preserve peaches. So we had jars and jars and jars of peaches. These are the mini jam jars. They look like glass. They're not. They're plastic. They're actually a soft plastic, but they're, you know, they don't go ting, ting, ting because they're plastic, not glass, with little silver lids. Aren't they cute? And there's 6 in a pack. Really, really cute to decorate. And I thought we might do one tonight. What do you think? Would that be fun? And I think these would be really nice to put all sorts of yummy things in. They should be food safe. I'll double check that. They usually say that, if not on the packet, whoops, on the top here. It doesn't say on top, but it'll say in the catalogue most likely. But I would expect they would be. So there we go. Let's have a quick look at the paper. All right. So this paper, actually, I really love it. It's like watercolor peaches and blossoms and little leaves and things. Okay. So your fairly generic peaches. I'll go through the colors in a moment with you. Then we've got little tiny ones on the back. There's 2 sheets of each, okay? Then we've got our blue background. So similar, but white background. Now we've got a blue background. Some different peaches. Blue dots on the back. I like the blue dots. They look like fun. The color in this, the blue, is balmy blue for anyone who's wondering. It's white with some blue flowers, little buds, and some calypso coral stripes on the back of that one. Oh, you checked, Michelle. Thank you. So I don't even need to look it up. I've got you to do it for me. Thank you so much. How are you, Michelle? Nice to see you here. Some more little blossoms here. They look kind of like cherry blossoms. Of course, they are actually peach blossoms, one would think. And then we've got our blue stripes. We've got some larger peaches on a white background. Some calypso coral and white dots. They're really pretty. And we've got a bit of a combination of blossoms and some little blue flowers. And on the back of that one, the green in this is pear pizzazz, okay? Should be peach pizzazz, shouldn't it? But it's pear pizzazz. So there we go. That's the paper. Really like it. It's not a specialty paper. There's no, embossed bits or gold bits or anything like the Expressions in Ink one the other night. But I still really like them. I think the colours are great. So with that in mind, they've got honey in their jars and jams and things. That's really pretty, isn't it? Like that. Where did you read it, Michelle? Was it over on the over further where they're featured later in the catalogue? I want to see how much they are as well. Let me find them. They're in the Packaging Basics on page 137. They're number 3, mini jam jars, 6 clear plastic jars with silver twist on lids, and food safe, which Michelle had already told us, but just wanted to check the price. $15.75 for a box of 6, okay? They would be great for little gifts. I just think they're so cute. And they match, of course, our lovely paper. All right. I'll pop that to one side for a moment. And I'm going to pull out these. And let's get stamping. Let's start with just a bit of simple stamping like I often like to do. I've just got a piece of Whisper White. Actually, no, it's not. It's Basic White. I keep going to call it Whisper White, but it's actually Basic White. All right, so you can see none of these are particularly large. You don't need your larger blocks for these. The peach, which is probably the biggest one. Oh, this one here, actually the leaves, that's the biggest one. You'll need D block for those. This one is C block, and the peach will fit on that. And then, of course, your little guys will fit on smaller blocks. Maybe get some the long, thin blocks like this is, which one's this? This is H. And we've got a G as well, which is a thin, small one. So double check and see which ones you have. It's good if you don't already have a number of clear blocks to get a few different size varieties um, so that you know you always have the right size block. The idea is that you don't have too big a block, because if you have too big a block and you have a stamp, a very small stamp on a big block, it's very easy to pick up extra ink when you're stamping, and that leaves you open um, to getting ink on your project, which you really don't want. So I'm going to start out. Oh, I told you I'd show you the colors. So I pulled out all the colors. There's 8 of them plus white that are in the paper, and here they all are. I'm just going to put them out. So we've got Bumblebee, Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, and Early Espresso. We have Petal Pink, Pear Pizzazz, Pale Papaya, which is one of our new colours, and Mango Melody. They're the colours in the papers. Okay, so I think that's a really nice. It's interesting. I don't think when you stamp it, Pear Pizzazz isn't quite as green as this. I think it's a little bit lighter, and the Petal Pink I think is a bit darker. So sometimes the stickers on the outside of the ink pads aren't true to the actual ink color, and these two I think are a little bit off. Pale Papaya is pretty close. That's really right, and Mango Melody is really right, and yeah, most of the others there are, but a couple of them aren't really right. So what colors do I want to stamp my peach in? I'll try Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral. Let's try these two. And then I'm going to use the green, the Pear Pizzazz, for my leaves. So let's see. Now, these look like they might be distinctive, which means they've got the dark and the light. So let's do a little bit of experimenting and see. I've got my peach. I've got my paper here. Maybe I'll do some peaches dark and some light. And maybe we'll even do a little bit of rock and roll for anyone who doesn't know what rock and roll is. Let me see. All right. So this is what I mean when I say, and I should be using a matte under this as well. All right. Can you see how it's like dark and light, both colors, which I love. I love this type of stamp. I think they work really, really well. And it's really, really nice that they give you that range of colors just with one inking, one stamp. Okay. I'm going to put my matte under for next time there. And you might notice that also it looked like I was worried that I had maybe missed a little bit here, but if you look here, that's actually part of the stamp. That's how it's meant to be. So it's good to know, so you don't have to worry about the fact that you might have messed it up. Right, let's go the lighter color and see how that looks. And because I'm using a matte this time, it should give me a slightly better coloring. I might go that dark lighter one again. And let's just try some simple. Okay, now I thought this was all one stamp, but I'm thinking maybe it isn't. Oh, it is. It is all one stamp. Huh. All right. So now I'm going to give some leaves to my peaches. I'm actually going to do a couple of really simple ones. I'm going to use a smaller block for that. So this is B block. And we'll open up our Pear Pizzazz. Thank you, Michelle. You know what? I hadn't even looked at that. That's great. So all of them are food safe except for the card box items. The acetate, yeah, of course. Of course. Right, so I want this one to go, I'm going to have it going off the page. This one's going to go, I wonder if you can have them up the other way. No, probably not. We need to go this way. This one's going to go over the top of my other peach. And here. Right, just like that. So a few random peaches. And then I've got lots and lots of words. What do we want to say? Have a peachy day. Sweet as a peach. There's a simple happy birthday and a thanks so much. They're always going to be really, really usable. Let's celebrate you. I think I'm going to go thanks so much with this one. All right. Thanks so much. Now, I want to show you something else in case you haven't noticed this yet, but the new photopolymer stamps that are coming out have the designs now printed on the inside, okay? Now, even though they still come with the backing paper, I'm really excited because if you have a little look here, you might see that the stamps match up with the design on the back here. And that's because as you clean your stamps, let me just clean the peach for a second. I'm going to do it with my fingers because I'm lazy and I'm not turning around to get my scrub. But instead of putting them back in here and having to open up this whole thing to get into this one, which is right in the middle, which is a bit of a pain, now I can just put them straight back on the inside of my case and keep them right there. I think it's a big improvement. I really, really like it. It means I'm not going to be fiddling around with little bits of plastic and wondering where everything goes. I know exactly where it goes because it just goes on the inside of my case. So has anyone else noticed that? It's pretty cool, I think. All right, so I'm using the thanks so much. I'm just going to pop it on my block here. And I think I might do it in the green. And this is a super, super simple, easy peasy card just to give you an idea of how the colors look. Look, I got a bit of green. Now, this is actually a really good example of what I said before. Remember I said if you have your block a little bit too big, even though that stamp does fit, I picked up some extra ink here on the edge without realizing, and I've now transferred that to my project. There are a number of things we can do to fix that. One is to cover it up with a like a different motif or something like that. I've got some sitting right here, so I mean I could pop this here, and we could have this on top and put a couple more peaches up the top, and no one would ever know that I had messed that up, and then we would stamp our thanks so much on here. So that would make sense to do. But what I should have done, can everyone hear me okay with the new AirPods? I just wanted to make sure that the microphone is working well. I'm just having a look to see if I can find a smaller block, because a smaller block would be better for this. Okay, this would have been my better size block, okay, because then I'm not going to be picking up extra ink on the block like I did on this one. So let's pull that off. So I've got a few choices now. I could start again, go on the other side of the card. I could put something over the top, which I think I might do, because I think that might look rather nice. And I might stamp a couple more peaches. And we're just going to make this a really, really simple little stamped card with a little bit of extra. So I'm going to put an extra peach here. And I'm going to go up to my Calypso Coral and have an extra peach up there. Just like that. I'm going to get my piece here, because this bit will be seen. That bit you're not going to see it, so I don't need to do it up there. And now I'm going to put this piece right over here. And I'm just going to really call this a very, very simple, easy card. And this is what you do, right? When you mess something up, when you, especially, I mean, okay, I'm doing it live, and so you guys get to see me mess up, but I know we all do it all the time, right? So easy peasy, you just turn things around by covering up, working with it somehow, and it changes the design of how you were going to do things. Sorry, while I bring my head in, I've got to line that up, make sure it's straight. That's fine. And this piece is going to go across here. And really, really simple. Isn't that a simple card? You can hear me great. So I'm actually thinking that these are going to fix a lot of my microphone problems. Oh, I'm so, so happy. That's really, really good. All right. I'm actually really happy with that. I'm deciding, though, if I would like to add, I would. And I'm going to add a little bit of pear pizzazz ribbon, I think. Sorry, not pear pizzazz. This is the pale papaya. Right, so let's move that over. Let's pop our, and I'm deciding how big this is. I might want to cut this down a little bit. Let me see. It's 10 centimeters across, which is 4 inches, guys, for anyone who needs to know that. No, I'm going to leave it exactly as it is. I'm going to put it straight on a different colored base. So I'm just going to add some of these. One of the things I think that a lot of people are scared to go live is because they're worried that they're going to make a mistake. I say, if you make a mistake, that just makes you human. And everyone else goes, oh yeah, even she did it. So I know that I know it's okay when I do it too. None of us are perfect. And actually, I'm okay with that. Edge the label with the papaya color. I would, except I tend not to with the stitch ones because I love the stitching so much, Cherie, that I really like the stitching to shine. So if it was a shape that didn't have the stitching, yes, I would edge it. But because I've got that beautiful stitching, I don't really want to distract from that. So I've made the decision not to edge it. That's the reason why I don't sometimes. Hi there, Subu. How are you going? Oh, you ordered this one yesterday. Wow. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It's really pretty. All right. I'm happy with that. I'm going to use my glue dots and grab a glue dot on the back here, push it on, take it off with the glue dot, and we're going to, where will I put this? Right in the middle? Yeah, let's go right in the middle. Aren't these open weave ribbons beautiful? These come in all the new in colors, these ribbons, and I love them. I think they're so, so pretty. Oops, there's my ribbon scissors just out of reach, but not far. All good. So let's get that like that. Pull that through a little bit. So if you make a mistake, never think, oh no, I've messed it up and throw it in the bin. Actually, very rarely do I throw anything in the bin because I can usually work out something to do with it. So now we get to choose, do we want it on a pale papaya background? That's quite nice. Or I could do a pear pizzazz background. That would look nice too. Or calypso coral, but I think that's a bit dark. I prefer to go with a lighter one. So this would be the pale papaya. No, I keep getting them mixed up. Pear pizzazz. That's how that would look. So what do we think? Pale papaya or pear pizzazz? I'm leaning towards the pear pizzazz, but I'm going to wait for the very first person to comment. Whoever tells me which one to use, that's the one I'm going to go with. Good recovery. Ha. Well, you know, it happens to us all. I know it does. I'm just waiting for someone to vote which one we should go with. The pear. Okay. Thanks, Subu. That's the one we're going to do. So I've got my sheet here. I'm just going to fold this in. Grabbing my... Well, that's not like me to have my bone fighter out of reach. Once again, right behind me. Here we go. Now, because I'm using the pear, okay, I'm going to edge this card in the other color. I could go with either the coral, which would be darker, but I'm thinking I'm going to go with the pale papaya. So if I had gone with the pale papaya base, I probably would have edged it with the pear pizzazz. So I usually use a different color to edge it. Otherwise, they kind of blend together and it's hard to see the edging at all. But if you want it to stand out a little bit, you want to pick a coordinating color, but not the same. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And yes, I'm using a sponge. I know I shouldn't be because they're retired, but you know, that's what I've got. So all good. And I think this is turning out quite nice. I love that I start my videos usually not knowing what I'm going to create and just see what happens. And here we go. I'm happy with that. All right, so I'm going to grab some adhesive. I'm just using our seal. Pop it on the... I always do, to make it last longer, here's a tip. Do your short sides and just a little bit in the middle of the long sides. You don't need to go all the way around. And if you do the long sides and a little bit in the short sides, so you're using more more tape. So go with the short sides on the long, and then just a little bit in the middle of the long sides to secure it, and that's enough. And it means that you're saving yourself a little bit of money. They'll last a bit longer. All right, so there's card number 1. What do you think? Is that good? I think they're a nice contrast too. Yeah. Yep, looks like, oh, Michelle, you voted for the pale papaya, but too late. I'm so sorry. We'll do that one next time. I'm seeing you on Wednesday night, aren't I? Be nice. And we're going to make, for anyone who hasn't booked into class this week, this is one of the cards we're making on Wednesday night. So if you're local to me on the Central Coast and you don't have anything planned for either Wednesday morning or Wednesday evening, come along and do this class with me. We're doing the linen paper. Can you see the linen paper? It's actual fabric. It is absolutely beautiful and really nice to work on. And here you can see I've done a vintage style card, and I've used our very Versailles stamp set. So really, really like that one. And the linen paper is adhesive on the back, which I think a lot of people don't realize. So it's pretty cool. All right, let's move these colors out of the way. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, Cherie. Thanks. All right, so we did the first card. Let's have a little look at the dies now, and let's see what we have in our dies. So the thing with most of the dies that we have in our sets, not all, but most of them will have it. Well, all the sets will have usually something that will cut out stamps in a matching stamp set. But then there are usually some dies that don't actually cut out any stamps. For example, this branch here is a standalone that you can use with the other pieces. So I'm actually going to stamp, and then I'm going to cut out with the dies. So let's have a little look here. Let's get our stamps. And I want to use this one. I want to see how that looks, because I think that would be really nice. Okay, this is a good exercise actually. I haven't pulled this one off before. Be careful when you pull it off, because it's thin in some places, and I think it would be very easy for it to rip in some of these small joins. So be really, really careful when you pull it off. Otherwise, you're going to end up with it in pieces. And I did that with my curvy Christmas set last year. The long Christmas tree row, I ended up, that was thin in some places, and unfortunately it wasn't a lot of fun, because what I ended up doing was breaking it in several pieces. So really, really easy to, if you're too rough when you're peeling them off, you can break them, you can rip them. This one on block, this will probably fit on block C as well, but I've got it on, let's see, I think those two work together, but we're about to find out. All right, so I've got an idea in my head that I would like to do, and it's going to be pretty simple. Let's see. So I'm stamping this just on some white cardstock, and you can see it's one stamp, but this is why I thought it was actually several different stamps, because it's like it's in pieces. And the reason for that is because I have to work out which way they go. Is it this way? Yes. Our 3 peaches fit right there in the middle. So I'm going to start with the lighter color. I'm going to start with my pale papaya, and I'm going to ink it up. And I'm wondering, I'm thinking I might make them dark around the edges. Now, there's a few different ways that you can do this. One is called rock and roll. I mentioned it earlier, and that's where you actually roll the edges in a darker color. Okay, so you have your color that you've inked up in, you roll the edges in a darker color, and it's going to give you a nice effect. Another option is to sponge the edges, and I'm thinking that might be better for us tonight if I can find my sponge daubers. So let's see if they are here. I definitely put them in my bag next to me, but sometimes they like to hide. also, I can find everything but my sponge daubers. I found my sponge, which I'm going to use in a minute. That's good. All right, I've got some new ones here, so let's go with these. All right, and I'm going to dip that in the Calypso Coral because that's a bit of a darker colour. You can see I'm going to just kind of add some darker colour to the edges of these peaches. All right, so it's still the pale papaya, but they're just a little bit shaded on the edges. All right, now the way this goes, there is like a little dip where actually I'll show you on the cover. Oh, where is it? Here it is. I hope you can see this. There's like a little hole, little dip, which is where the branches connect to the peach. So they're the bits that you want facing down towards the branches. So I can see 1, 2, 3. That's where they're going to go. Did everyone see what I mean? And now we've got our peaches, which are in 2 colours. That's really nice. Did you see that? I think that looks great. All right, so this is where we get our die, and we're going to cut them out. Actually, I've just realised that's how it would look if I just stamped it, which actually is really, really beautiful. And I could easily make a background just doing that, right? But I see that the die cuts these out separately, which means I could put the peaches back on top if I wanted to. So let's do this again. And I'm going to do them as 2 separate bits. I'm going to pull them off. Right, so I've got my piece here. See how that's going to cut that out, but I don't want to I don't want the peaches. I want them to be 2 separate pieces. So let's try that. I want to keep this one now because it's really pretty. I'm going to use it on another card. So I've got another piece here. Always have a few extra pieces because you just never know, right? All right, so I've got because they're distinctive, we get that lovely dark and light feel. So just using 1 green is actually enough. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my peaches again, which I'm going to do the same thing because I really love the shading. Do you think so? Really? I thought the samples are really, really nice, actually, though, Cherie, in the catalogue. So that's how they come out if I just do them straight. And this is how they come out if I add the coral. I think it's nice. So I'll put them next to each other so you can see both. Isn't that nice? Much nicer with that extra bit of sponging. I really, really like that. Well, that's good. They are really pretty. I really, really like them. All right, so let's get these ink pads out of the way so I don't stick my fingers in them because you know I will, right? That's what I do. All right, and then we've got, there's the blossoms here, which are also in the stamp set, and the big peach that we looked at before. So there's a whole bunch of different things in here that you can cut out. All right, so I'm going to move all these. I'm going to need my dies. And I'm going to bring in my little machine. So I guess the test, what I need to test is if I move away from my phone and zip over to a different part of I'm going to do this little test with you guys tonight and see if you can hear me clearly from the other side of my room. Not that I want to do that to you all the time, but that would be kind of cool, right? Right, so I've got platform number 1. Here it comes. I love my little machine. Platform 1. Then my first cutting plate. Actually, I'm going to put that down. That one's a bit flatter. And then I'm going to put my piece of paper, which I just realised is a tiny bit too wide. That's okay, because all I'll do is cut it down. Yeah, I've had a lot of people call them cattle dogs. A lot of people. Seems to be the popular name for them around here too. All right, so I'm going to cut this little guy and make sure it's lined up as best I can. I just want it to, yep, that looks good. Pull this out so they're lined up together. Oop, move my paper, but that's okay. It's still in the right place. Pick up my handle as soon as it starts to move, and sorry about if it's wobbling. There we go. What Aussieism was that? The cattle dog, is that what you're talking about? Right, so that's how that punched out. You can see all like one, looks like one piece, even though when we stamped it, it looked like 3 different bits. And then the other bit is over here. So let's try that again. So I didn't tell you, you can order this whole suite, the whole thing, and the whole thing, including the paper and the dies and the stamps and the little jars. You get the whole lot for $99. Goodness me, $99.50 I think it is. I'll double check that for you in just a second. I think that is such a good price for a whole suite. And I love that they've done that this time, that we can get a whole suite of things. Everything goes with everything else. How cool is that? Under $100. Love that. Hey there, Denise. How are you going? Happy Mother's Day to you too, honey. All right, so now I've got my little peaches. I'm going to put them here next to my leaves. And I took the liberty of cutting a piece out earlier. Now, this is from the colouring, was it Sculpt Contours dies? I'm using these all the time, guys. I think they're going to be one of my new favourite dies. If I'm currently using them more than any others. They've got all these great scalloped rectangles in them. 1, 2, 3, 5 of those. A scalloped edge and a couple of flowers that cut out from the colour and contour stamp set. Love these. If you're looking for a really good, useful die pack, they are fantastic. I'm using them on everything. Look, I use them to cut my linen paper here, and I've used them all over the place. So if you like those, grab them. They're fantastic. Strongly recommend. Really, really good usable set. And this is the medium-sized one. So this is the 3rd smallest, and the 3rd one, the 3rd largest and the 3rd smallest. It's right down the bottom. So I'm going to put this onto here, and then I'm going to put these onto wherever it is they belong. So I'll work that out in a second. But before we do that, I thought it'd be really nice to come in with my blending brush and do a little bit of sponging, because to me, sponging just makes everything look amazing. So it's one of my favorite things to do to almost every single card. I just picked up and if you haven't used these, they're fantastic. You get 3 in a pack and they're $21. Okay, really, really good buy. Love, 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 love them. So I'm just going to sort of create a little bit of a background for my little branch, and it doesn't take very long at all to build up a really nice sponged background, and this is going to look so much nicer on top of that. And it does. Look at that. Looks fantastic. All right, so I'm actually going to glue this down, and I'm thinking I will use Tombow multi-purpose glue for that, because I actually want to stick it down flat. You could have it, if you wanted to raise it up, you could use mini dimensionals behind some of those bigger leaves. You probably can get a big dimensional behind that one, but that would also secure it for you. But I'm just going to stick mine down flat because I'm going to dimensional my peaches. So let's put those like this. I'm just going to hold it down for a second because it is a liquid glue, so it takes a moment to dry. It shouldn't take very long though. And then we're going to wax some dimensionals behind these. Now I could use minis, or I could even use full ones because the peaches are big enough. So I'm just going to go with my normal old dimensionals. And let's put one behind this one behind this one, and one behind this one. Now, doesn't matter which one goes where. Probably not. Probably not. I think I'm going to just test them first. That one maybe here. Let's try this one here, maybe. And this one here. I don't think it really matters though. But aren't they cute? Love them. Oh no. Okay, are we back? Oh no, you know what happened? It came up with a battery low message. Not that it's really all that low. It's down to 20%. And when it gives me the battery low message, it it freezes. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm back. Hooray! Yep. So it's not your fault. It's me. I was at 60% when I started. I knew I should have been a bit more than that, but I knew it would be enough to get me through. But as soon as it gets down to 20, because video does make it go quite quickly. Look at that. Aren't they cute? Look at those. Aren't they great? Love, love, love them. All right. Let's put those back over here. I'm going to get rid of this for now. And then I'm going to put this is going to be the main part on my cards. So I'm just having a think about how I want that to look. I think I'll go with a white base this time. Aren't they nice? We're back. Yes, we are. I'm so sorry. I wasn't watching. I was too busy creating and having fun, and I wasn't watching my comments. Sorry, guys. That'll teach me. All right, let's see. Okay, did I miss any important comments? No, it was just everyone telling me that I was frozen. So sorry. You guys need to. Okay, we're back. Great. I know they look fantastic, don't they? I really, really, really like the way these look when you put them together, and they're easy to use. So I'm going with the Pale Papaya. I'm going to have this behind on my, so this is going to be on here, but I thought we would get in and use some of our beautiful paper, some of this lovely DSP. So let's see what would look nice with this. This one would look lovely. I like it, but I might not use that one. So I'm having a little play to see what I think would look good. I really like the dots here on this side. I think those look fantastic. And I think these look nice, but they might compete a little bit too much with my other pictures. So having a think about those. I like the dots. I think the dots, I want two different patterns. And maybe those. Well, that's going to work. Those two colors look nice. Two sheets. Let's go with those. All right, so I'm going to have my first one. Which way will I go? Yeah, I'll go this way. And I'm going to have usually around about 2 3/4 inches or 7 centimeters is a nice size. And I'm going to have this a little bit shorter than my Pale Papaya piece. All right, you guys can tell me too. What do you think? Do we prefer? I'm glad so. Okay, do we prefer this to be a landscape, or do we prefer it to be portrait? I'm going to let you guys choose. So portrait like this, or we're going to go landscape. I like them both. I think they both look nice. Portrait. Okay, portrait it is. Wendy, you're the first one to vote. So, all right, portrait it is. Okay, so I've got a piece here that is going to fit quite nicely here. And then I would like this piece here. I'm going to cut an inch. An inch might be too much, but we'll see. So it's about just over 2.5 centimeters. Let me see if this is the right width. I might actually take a tiny bit more off that. I like mixing up designs. I love mixing up. They call it color mixing or pattern mixing. And I like doing that on my cards because I always think it looks really classy. And I'm just going to measure this. I'm measuring another piece to go in here. And I like finding designs that look good next to each other and they work together. And dots and stripes work really well with this. Okay, see how that looks? It's really, really pretty when you put them together. All right, so I'm going to stick those straight on. Yeah, Cookie's chatting because he can hear me talking, and so that gets him a bit more animated as well. One of these days I'll get him out and show him to you close up. I've had Cookie, for anyone who doesn't know this, I've had Cookie for over 20 years. He's, I think, 21 this year, I think. 21 or 22. I think I got him in, I'm just trying to think. I think I got him at the end of 1999, November 1999 or thereabouts. So he's been around and been part of our lives for a really long time. He used to have a friend. He had a mate called, well, not a mate, they hated each other, but his name was Biggles. And Biggles, unfortunately, usually Cookie and he would have a little tiff, and Biggles would usually end up much worse off. So there we go, just like that. All right, so now I've got this piece here. I like the way this is coming together. This is looking great. Now, do we want it coming from here or do we want them coming down? If we come down, I could actually put a sentiment down here at the bottom of my piece, okay? If we go up, I would probably put a bow here and a separate sentiment. Yes, he's a cockatiel. I know some people call them quarians, but here we usually call them cockatiels. All right, so what do we think? Are we going to go with them facing upwards? I know I stamped them that way, but they could be coming downwards, which is probably more coming down. Yep, okay, let's go down. Now, in that case, I'm going to stamp my greeting at the bottom of my rectangle, which is actually really easy to do. You've just made things really easy because I haven't got to cut a separate piece. I could, if I wanted to, use a bow somewhere, but I'm not thinking of a bow at the moment. Here they are. What words shall we have? We have a few choices. We've got have a peachy day. That would fit. Sweet as a peach would also fit right here. We've got thanks so much, which would go across the bottom, or it's your day. That's really nice. Let's celebrate you. There's a whole bunch of really nice, and even just a nice little hello. That's nice too. Has anyone got any thoughts what they would like? I quite like asking you guys. It takes the pressure off me having to come up with it, but also it means that you guys are able to kind of be part of it. And I don't know if you like that, but I feel like it's a nice thing to do to get you guys to be part of the process, if that makes sense. To a sweet friend. That's really nice. To a sweet friend, hope your day is as, and then I guess it's meant to say sweet as a peach. Have a peachy day. Where's have a peachy day? Where's that one? Up here. Okay. It's a bigger one. Let me see if it will fit. And that's the nice thing about photopolymer stamps is you can pop them on first and make sure they're going to fit okay. And it will. It'll fit nicely. And now, shall we use Calypso Coral or shall we use Pear Pizzazz? They're your choices this time. Pear Pizzazz or Calypso Coral? I'm thinking maybe the coral, but what do you think? Yep, interactive card making. Exactly. I think that's a bit of fun. Coral. Oh, we could go blue. Didn't think of that because we've got blue in the paper here. I could go with that. Coral, pear. Everyone's got different. Oh, I'm getting more votes for coral. Sorry, guys. Cherie, I know you were first with the blue, but I've had 3 corals now. One more and it's done. All right, I'm not going to put dimensionals on that. I'm going to stamp first. And all right, I'm gonna hold the deciding vote, and I'm gonna go coral. I hope that's okay. Sorry, Cherie, you'll get to pick another time, I'm sure. All right. bringing my head in just to line it up so it's straight. I want it just inside the perforations. There we go. Have a peachy day. That's nice. Isn't that pretty? I like it. Oh, yep, frozen again. That means I'm down to 10%, which means we have to finish up soon. And I wonder if we're going to get time to look at the jars today. Maybe I have to do the jars next time. All right. Okay, let's get these dimensionals on the back and get this put together so you guys can see it. 1, 2. Next time, I promise, I'll be better and I'll be all ready to go at 100% before I start, and that won't happen. I do have to get a new phone. My phone battery is not lasting as long as it should, obviously. I really like this card. Guys, this is nice. Thank you for your help. It's lovely. Let's get our white card base folded and start it over. And then this piece here is going to go right on there. So I'm going to have 2 cards done. Yeah, thank you. I really, really like this. One of my AirPods just fell out. Back in. There we go. Goodness me, I'm having a few technical difficulties, aren't I? Well, thank you for your help, everyone, because I really like this card. I'm very, very happy with that. I'm thinking maybe a couple of little diamantes might be nice, and I'll add those and take a photo and pop it up on my Instagram page. Look at these. 2 really simple but really nice cards. This one uses the dies. This one's got this extra shape because we messed up the beginning. Remember, we got everybody, only you guys know it's our little secret that there's a bit of a boo-boo underneath that. But that's okay because all's well that ends well, right? Yeah, we could do blue ones. Great idea. And I've got balmy blue. Let me see. Look. These would be perfect. Okay, that's what's happening. We're using the balmy blue dye jewels. They'll be beautiful. Thank you. All right, very, very quickly. I'll have a really fast look at these. I'm not gonna wrap them or anything. I could. All the ones I noticed in the catalogue were like they had a wrapper around them and they look really nice, but I thought I'd just decorate the lid. And I've got, once again for you, 2 choices. And we get to choose whether we want green or whether we want... So, given that I used... Oh, that's so funny. Oh, look at you guys. Oh, it's nice seeing everybody talking to each other. I love that. All right. Okay. I'm actually going to, because I'm nearly out of battery, I'm actually going to finish up. I'm going to make this up and it's going to have a similar little guy to this on top. Okay. So that's why I was thinking, will I use the green or will I think I'll use the pale papaya only because I think that this will look better on top of this. And then I'm going to also use the pale papaya open weave ribbon and I'm going to wrap that around here and tie it off in a nice little bow. So that's what it's going to look like. I think you guys can imagine, but because we're almost out of battery, I'm going to call this a night and I'm going to go back out to my family. I'm going to post these and then go back out to my family and you'll see this online probably tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for your lovely, lovely company tonight. I've really enjoyed creating with you, and it's so much fun to be able to create together and actually you guys to make some suggestions and me to mess it up, and then for us to all, sympathize with each other and make me feel better. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, guys, I hope you have a lovely, lovely evening. If you haven't had your Mother's Day yet, I hope it's a great day. For those of you who've had a beautiful day, that's everything that you deserve. And this week, Friday night, I'll be back on my Facebook page live and I'll have lots and lots of projects going up all week long. So have a fantastic week, guys. If you need anything from me, just ask. We have a great joining special now, so definitely check in with me about that. All right. See you soon, people, and have a great night. Bye.